we are able to introduce SOM link to pharmaceutical supply chains. On this screen, we see a couple of recognizable customers and partners of ours. Lower left-hand corner, Axway is a strategic alliance partner of ours and was on site at our first pharmaceutical deployment, and that would be PAI, Pharmaceutical Associates, Top Center. We were feeding Axway's ePedigree some shipment and container information in our ComplyLink package, and that's what allowed us the opportunity to submit a proposal for the development of a suspicious order monitoring solution. Other distinguished members of that group invited to submit a proposal, in fact, included Axway and Sejadine Dendrite and Ross Enterprise and a couple of others. So we're very grateful for the opportunity. This slide shows in a little greater detail the three main product offerings that we have in supply chain today. SOM Link at the top. Again, it is an automated compliance tool set. We'll get into a little bit more about how it came to have the current design and what design options are available in the future. If any of the attendees today or others that they may come in contact with regarding their introduction of our company should have interest in other EDI-related supply chain solutions, I hope that you'll remember that we are an experienced solutions provider, and perhaps someone would like to contact us again about their specific needs. So the real motivator here is the DEA's mandate that anti-diversion is meant to be a proactive engagement, not reactive. The distinction being legacy systems have for too long been reporting suspicious sales after the fact, and that is not what the DEA intended in drafting suspicious order monitoring requirements. So the DEA has advanced their definition to include more specific language, such as registrants being required to place on hold, investigate, and disclose to the DEA all suspicious orders of controlled substances, and once again reiterating not suspicious sales after the fact. Many of you probably are familiar with the letter that went out in 07, I believe. Dear Registrant, this is being sent to every entity registered with the DEA to manufacture or distribute controlled substances. It defines the specific objectives of 1301.74b, again, to design and operate a system. Those parameters that define a suspicious order include significant deviation in size, frequency, and pattern. Here are the examples made early in 07 for noncompliance. Everyone is familiar with the sanctions, suspensions, and fines that the big three were charged by DEA, specifically in violation of 1301.7b, failure to report suspicious orders. Again, the distinction, not suspicious sales. The fallout from that was that those companies with the IT and financial resources understood that they needed to come up with a more sophisticated system that would replace their legacy know your customer due diligence, monthly averaging, and exceptions reporting processes. Given today's very short order to delivery sales cycle, manual processes and backward-looking averaging techniques simply aren't up to the task of getting product through the supply chain in an efficient manner. So experts have advised that the response registrants need to make is to come up with something that is statistically defensible, that all orders coming into the business application should be subjected to rigorous analysis, that the system then should flag only those orders meeting the definition of potentially suspicious, that is, having significant deviation in size, frequency, and pattern, and most importantly, without interrupting the efficient distribution of medical products in healthcare supply chains. This slide is something that we may return to later offline. Any of you that wants to take a closer look at this and discuss how these objectives may apply to your specific needs, we've outlined some of the objectives that we took into account in designing our solution set. We determined that the solution needed to be effective, that it needed to be accurate, that it should be flexible, that its user interface should be familiar, that it meets that statistically defensible requirement, and also certainly it must be affordable. And we ask the leading question, well, I do, I'm sales manager. The leading question would be, what is the value of risk mitigation with such a system relative to the fines and lost revenue of a suspension or sanction from the DEA? So we'll begin now to take a closer look at our SOM link. We contracted with an aerospace engineer who reviewed the DEA requirements and the business model of our first underwriting partner, Pharmaceutical Associates. And that individual responded with a set of 16 analytical tests, and they are generally categorized in 3 groups. The first being order size, 2 through 8 looking for patterns based on size, and 9 through 16 looking for patterns based on frequency. Here's an overview of the workflow in an SOM link application. Upper left-hand corner, we see manufacturers and distributors. Their business application is a financial ERP system of some kind. It may be J.D. Edwards. It may be a MS Dynamics product. It could be Peachtree. It could be as simple as QuickBooks. It's the order entry application. Orders need not be EDI. They can be manually entered, converted from fax or other paper order entry. It doesn't make any difference to the suspicious order monitoring and management process. It's going to be using, in our case, universally applicable integration touch points. We are using web services and XML format for those of you who have an interest in that. So the first step down here, lower left, new orders are going to come into an SOM link repository. That repository was initially set up with data download of all sales order history for the manufacturer and distributor. The SOM link repository then is going to compare new orders against this historical database and begin applying the validation process. The outcome of the 16 analytic tests are going to result in a binary result. It's pass-fail, which brings us to 3. In a pass situation, the order is going to receive a status update that then returns it to the financial ERP system for ultimate fulfillment. If, on the other hand, it is deemed to be potentially suspicious, it gets placed on hold. A couple of automatic actions occur that are generated by SOM link. The first being that the appointed administrator for that particular order, whether it's by customer, by region, by sales group, the designated administrator will receive an email from SOM link advising that an order has been flagged and it has been kicked up into the SOM link order management component of the bimodal system. We have the validation mode, which resides on a repository. It applies the analytic test, and then Those orders that are deemed potentially suspicious go into a new environment where an administrator, an appointed investigator or reporter may then take action on the potentially suspicious order. This is where the human interface begins to take control in the subsequent processes. An investigation can occur. A customer service representative at the manufacturer or distributor can send emails, make phone calls, begin to evaluate potential causes for an order being flagged after having the analysis applied. The SOM link order management component of the solution also allows for the recording of notes, and we're going to see that when our presenter Mark shows the user interface and the number of ways that suspicious orders that are kicked up into this environment can be managed. So suspicious orders can be investigated, notes can be recorded, there can be an approval by an authorized administrator with the authority to approve and subsequently release an order. And we have something else called ERP adjust, and we can go into that in a little more detail. Or they can be found to be suspicious by all measures applied, and then the automatic or the notification to the local DEA field office can be supported by our SOM link management side. It also maintains an archive of reports. It allows for additional notes and updates, and all of this is readily accessible by administrators in the event that some additional notes need to be made, but more importantly, if the DEA wants to see what did you do in response to a certain order, there is a permanent repository that can only be added to, cannot be edited or deleted, and every record is there to back up the investigation and the outcome. And those three results of an investigation are identified here: approve, ERP adjust, or reject. And again, it goes to a status update for that particular order, and it could be one single line item on an order, but that information then is going to be sent back to the financial ERP.